Welcome to TYT Sports. Ben Mankiewicz, Francis Maxwell with you. So we don't do a lot of cricket stories, but obviously there's a huge cricket story dominating the sports world. The death of Phillip Hughes. Did you see the video?
I seen the video. It was kind of chilling a little bit because he got hit on the backside of the neck from a ball, but he didn't immediately go down.
Yeah, he reacted initially the way you would expect somebody who'd been hit like that to react, and but then as soon as he went down, he realized something was serious, and of course he died a few days later. So there's been an enormous response to this in the places where cricket is played, in England and Australia.
Yes.
Massive growth in sales as cricket sales have soared. Some places saying 70% increased sales of helmets just in the past week in Australia. Obviously, people reacting. Plenty of players coming in, as you might imagine, with their mothers.
Yes.
Who are insisting that they have this, because a lot of kids are playing and young people are playing. They weren't playing without helmets at all.
Yes.
To say nothing of the potential ways that the helmet that is being used could be made better.
Yeah, and I was reading an article on the BBC. It was from the head of the biomechanics of cricket, Rennie Ferdinand, and he came out and basically just straight away said, we believe there's more that can be done in terms of protection. If you look at the images that are coming up now, it's kind of the growth of cricket helmets, and how even maybe 10 years ago or so, they would cover more of the neck area, but I feel that it becomes a resounding fact now is more about mobility and visibility rather than covering all parts of the head.
As you read these stories and you read cricket players saying that the danger with making the helmet come down more of the neck. This guy, it's a little different than baseball. He was trying to essentially pull a ball from a baseball point of view because he swung at this pitch.
Yeah.
But the players are saying, some of the players at least are saying that if it comes too far down the neck, it will significantly affect mobility.
Yes.
And the initial response from the cricket world, the organizers are, this is a terrible tragedy. I even lean a little bit on their side. Do everything you can. This was seemed to be a freak accident, and maybe nothing more than that. Although obviously, if you can make the helmets better while keeping the game, while respecting the game,
and it's the same with any accident that's going to go on. People are always going to ask questions about the rules and regulations. I mean, we had the incident with the speed car racing, and people were talking about the altering the rules and how everything can be changed around. But with this, I mean, when you have the head of the biomechanics department coming out and saying that there could be more done, then I think more people are going to want to see a change happen. He's already proposed that they wear skull caps, which absorb 50 or 70% of the impact, and they don't affect mobility, according to his expertise. But in terms of the accident itself, it's just tragic. The guy was three or 4 days short of his 26th birthday, a year older than me. Died playing the sport that he loved, and it's something that,
a great player.
Yeah, and it's something that shocks the world because you don't expect athletes to die doing what they do, but it does happen, and it happens a lot more than what people think.
Yeah, and you expect it. You mentioned racing. That you don't need to be an expert. You can do all you can to make the cages safe in NASCAR and IndyCar. They're racing, and an accident could kill a driver, and there's no amount of safety that can rectify that situation. You look at Daryl Earnhardt Sr.'s crash, which seemed so innocuous in the scale of crashes. But it's hard for me to imagine, and obviously, I don't know the game of cricket. I don't know it well at all.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a player in baseball die since I think 1920.
Okay.
Since a player was hit and killed, but they didn't wear helmets then.
That's crazy.
But what is clearly an issue right now is the pitchers.
Yes.
On the line drives back up the middle.
Yeah, there was a guy that had his nose.
There have been a lot of injuries, but most, Brandon McCarthy terribly hurt by taking the ball off his, and needed emergency brain surgery, and others even since then, and they've worked on a helmet for pitchers.
Yeah.
But that's difficult but that requires a complete change of thinking for a pitcher to go out there and try and pitch a game, the most important player in the game by far.
To think about the repercussions of what might happen, it's going to alter it.
Does it change? Is there a way to build a safe helmet that does not impact how you manage the game? I don't know, but it's worth investigating.
And it's happened a couple of times now, not to the extremity of this, and there's a powerful article with Stuart Broad, who's come out and said that it's basically hard to come to terms with Phillip Hughes' death, but he himself suffered a broken nose only weeks before. It came underneath his helmet and caught him right in the nose, and he broke it. And at the time, he's thinking it's a freak accident, but now he's counting his blessings, thinking that it could have been.
And these are both. I mean, these are bouncers.
Yes, bouncers that go up and come underneath, and he's thinking himself, counting his blessings. But as you said, it shell-shocked the world, and there's been some amazing quotes that have came out and talked about this young man. The Prime Minister of Australia said, Tony Abbott said, for a young life to be cut so short, playing a national game seems to be a shocking aberration. And then I was watching a soccer game, and the captain of Crystal Palace, he's an Australian native, Jedinek, and he walked out to the field with a cricket helmet and a cricket bat and left it to the side of the soccer field during the game. And
it's called a pitch.
Yeah.
Off to the side of the pitch.
Off to the side of the pitch, as you would call it. Yeah. And it's definitely nice to see, but it's just tragic. And
yeah, it's a terrible story. And we'll see. Obviously, you know, the good thing is that, you know, there is no bright side to this, but one positive reaction is the number of young players who are at least getting some protection and getting some helmets before they go out and play. All right, thanks, guys.